Lieutenant Jon Lane, Jon-Lane. I'm with Coast Guard Sector Puget Sound. And at approximately 11:15 this morning, King County Water Taxi Rachel Marie ran into the Seattle Public Boat Dock historic structure, which is adjacent to Pier 50. There were 7 people that were taken by the Seattle Police Department to the local fire department, which is just down the street, to have minor injuries looked at. At this point, we don't believe that there were any serious injuries. The Seattle Police Department, Harbor Patrol, and Shoreside Patrol guys responded, along with the Washington State Patrol and the Seattle Fire Department. Coast Guard Station Seattle responded with 2 Coast Guard 41-foot boats. They got everybody off. Like I said, there was no significant injuries. However, there's fairly significant damage to the pier. At this point, we're not exactly sure why this happened, but things are pointing towards possibly mechanical failure on the vessel itself. However, the investigation's ongoing, and we'll know more once we get a little bit more into the investigation.
There were reports of people in the water. Did you find people in the water when you got here?
As far as I know at this point, there were no people in the water. Initial reports said that somebody did fall overboard, but I think at this point we've determined that nobody fell overboard.
Be more specific about mechanical failure. Some people say that the engines were on fully and it just ran right in there. Other people say it was off, the engine was off and it coasted right into there. I mean, what was the mechanical failure?
At this point, I can't tell you what the exact mechanical failure is, but I can tell you that there are reports of passengers that reported the crew telling them to brace for impact before this happened, as if they may have known that there was some sort of problem with the engine or the steering. So we will be looking at that.
What's going to happen to the boat?
Not sure what's going to happen to the boat at this point.
Were the engines on at the time of the collision?
I don't know that.
How fast were they going?
I've heard reports that they were going somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 knots.
Normally you would just reverse engines to slow down a little bit.
Normal approaches to docks like this with vessels, yes. You come in at a very slow speed, and of course just before you make landing, you typically put it in reverse to slow down or stop. And that obviously did not happen in this situation.
So what is the boat taking on water right now, and how severe is it?
As far as we know, the boat is not taking on water right now. We don't know the complete extent of the damages. A Coast Guard inspector is going to be getting on the vessel very shortly to go through it and find out exactly what sort of damage was caused by this.
How about the pier? It looks to us, I mean, I don't know if it's leaning right now or if does it have to come down? Do you know what it looks like right now?
I'm not sure. I know there's some fairly significant damage. I was out there just a few minutes ago, but I don't know the extent of the damage.
Number of people on the ferry?
At this point, we believe there are 73 people on board. That includes crew.
73 as in 7-3?
7-3, yes, 73 people.
And you said 7 went from there to the fire station. How many went to the hospital?
I don't believe any went to the hospital at this point. The Seattle Police Department were quick in evacuating the 7 people that had, like we say, non-life-threatening injuries, and they took them down to the Seattle Fire Department, which is just down the street here, and had them examined. So I don't know what happened to those people. I don't know what the firemen determined as far as the extent of their injuries.
They were loading some in ambulances on board, which suggests to me they were going someplace.
I didn't see that, and I'm not aware of that at this point.
What kind of inspections are supposed to do?
We do very thorough examinations of these types of vessels at least once a year, where a certified Coast Guard inspector will go out and check everything from, engines, steering, condition of the hull. We check the qualifications of the crew, and we make sure it's just in good working order.
How did this boat check out last time it was inspected?
I don't have the inspection history on this vessel, so I don't know. I can't comment. I don't know that at this point either.
Obviously, that's something you're going to be looking at, though, the history of this vessel and
absolutely.
The inspections.
Absolutely. We'll go back and look at the history of the inspections, find out what we've discovered in the past, and see if there's any link to things that we've discovered in the past to possibly what may have caused this accident.
Well, what's your reaction when you get to a scene like this? I mean, how bad could this have been? I mean, first look, you're like, oh my God. I'm sure you have the same reaction. How could something like this have turned out?
Well, as we know from seeing some of the ferry collisions, the more prominent ferry collisions that were reported in the New York area, there can be significant injuries associated with collisions like this. And we're just very fortunate that there weren't more people seriously injured with this one.